Okay, it is Monday. It's September 14th. I'm Tom Novak. Welcome to your Bring Me the News and Novak Weather Update. Appreciate you joining me. Not much happening here in the upper Midwest, so we're going to start off this video and we're going to focus on Hurricane Sally. Now, of course, we don't pay much attention to what's going on across the rest of the country. At least we usually don't. We like to focus on the upper Midwest, but this is a pretty serious hurricane now that has developed over the Gulf Coast, and here you can see it right now. You can see it now wrapping up just south of Alabama and Mobile, Alabama. And this storm system is now moving to the west right now towards New Orleans, Mobile, and eventually going to be heading up into Mississippi and Alabama as it continues to move west and then start to pinwheel and turn and pivot towards the northeast over the next 24 to 48 hours. But definitely a beautiful looking storm right now with thunderstorms exploding now once again right over or just south of the Mobile, Alabama area and Biloxi, Mississippi eventually. So interesting storm down there. They're going to be paying a lot of attention to, and in fact looking at radar down there. Take a look at how this storm system is now wrapping up, as we said. Almost a classic hurricane now that's taking advantage of the very warm Gulf of Mexico waters, and it's going to increase in intensity. In fact, the Hurricane Center has predicted that this storm is going to turn into almost a major hurricane. They're expecting it to be a high Category 2 hurricane, which would be winds at about 105 to 110 miles per hour. So if it starts to increase even a little bit more in intensity over the next 24 hours, it could become a major hurricane as we get towards tomorrow. So we'll have to watch that closely down there, as it looks like quite a bit of flooding is going to occur along the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. All right, take a look at the visible satellite loop now over the upper Midwest. And what I want you to see is here's the Twin Cities, of course, in Minnesota. And take a look. It's, for the most part, quite some sunshine here across the upper Midwest. But look at where our moisture and clouds and winds are coming from. They're coming from the northwestern portion of the United States. And keep in mind, there are quite a few fires out here in Oregon and Northern California, and that's where our air is coming from right now. So hence, the reason why we have a haze in the sky as jet stream winds up at 30 to 35,000 feet continue to push that smoke towards the east into the upper Midwest. And I think that's going to be the case for several more days. So get used to this haze in the air. And yeah, we're going to cool down a little bit. If you look at the jet stream structure now over the next several days for the rest of this week, again, here's that jet stream now, river of air at 30 to 35,000 feet coming out of the northwestern United States, Washington and Oregon, and heading east right across the northern sections of the United States. Now, as we get into late Wednesday and Thursday, you can see our winds start to come out of the west and northwest. So no doubt we're going to get a cooler shot of air coming down from Canada as we get into later this week. But that also may shunt the smoke, or at least some of the smoke, south of the upper Midwest to give us at least some brighter skies than what we have right now. And then eventually, as we get into this weekend, this is Friday, and then now here's later Saturday and Sunday, you can see our winds start to turn again towards the southwest. So yeah, after a cool down later this week, we will likely warm up as we get into this weekend and then early next week. So quite a changing weather pattern is in store, and that's usually the case as we get into September and then October into the fall months. These are the low-level temperatures from the European computer models. The low-level air at about 850 millibars, which is at about 5,000 or so feet in our atmosphere. And take a look at that cold shot of air that actually hangs around the northern portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin as we go through time. Here's this warm bubble of air that's going to be over us tomorrow. So expect a nice warm day for this time of year as we get into tomorrow. But again, watch what happens as we go through Wednesday as a cold front starts to pass through Minnesota during the day on Wednesday. That's going to be that cool shot of air that sticks around again for much, at least the later or the second half of this week, before we finally get a warm push of air that comes back into the upper Midwest as we get into this weekend and early next week. You can see it here. This is by later Sunday. We finally get another shot of warmer air from the west and southwest, and that'll likely hang around into much of next week. Temperatures tomorrow, look at this. Highs in the upper 70s and low 80s across southern Minnesota. However, as we get into Wednesday, you can see the cooler air now coming down out of Canada into Minnesota with highs only around 50 degrees in northern Minnesota. The way it appears on Wednesday, we'll still be in the 70s here in southern Minnesota, but that cold air is on its way. And as we get into Thursday afternoon, look at this. Temperatures now a good 5 to 10 degrees below normal with, again, almost similar to last week where we have temperatures in the upper 50s and low 60s here in southern Minnesota. By Thursday, I think that cooler air is going to hang around into Friday and probably the first half of this coming weekend. All right, that's your weather update from Bring Me the News and Novak Weather. I appreciate you joining me. We will talk to everybody tomorrow.